And a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheph. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Prophesy.
Go ahead, Captain. I smell the wood burning. Go ahead.
A star out of there shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly.
So Balaam is giving Balak a prophecy of a ruler, a king that would come out of Israel, that would conquer the nations.
Right.
Bring salvation to his people.
Con. Verse 19. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city.
All right, read on.
And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
So you know who that's talking about. You already know.
That joker that was making on the video.
Yeah, we just spoke about that. All right. Let's get one more precept. I'll let you have it on. I'll take this one. Give me Obadiah. There's 1 and 14. Okay.
This is the book of Obadiah, verse 14.
No, you can jump down to, let's get to the point.
Oh, 17?
Yeah.
This is the book of Obadiah, verse 17. But upon Mount Zion
Right.
shall be deliverance,
Right.
and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire,
Right.
and the house of Joseph a flame.
Right. What he's talking about, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Read.
And the house of Esau for stubble,
Right. Read on.
and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High Yahweh have spoken it.
Right. The Most High Yahweh has spoken that he will judge Esau in that time coming. When that time comes, they will be annihilated. Right? Destroyed as a nation off the face of this earth. Okay? So that's the prophecy that it was reading in Numbers 24 and 19. Let's go back. Because Amalek is what they call today the so-called Jew, Amalekite, right? There's another Amalek in the scriptures, right? And that is Ham. Yeah. I think it's another Amalekite or something like that. It's pronounced the same way, but it's one of the Hamitic nations. But not this one, not this one. It's referring to Esau. Go ahead.
God.
Yeah. When we come across it, I'll show you.
Numbers chapter 24, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
Right.
And he looked on the Kenites
Mm-hmm.
and took up his parable and said, Strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Kenite shall be wasted unto Ashur. Unto Ashur shall carry thee away captive. And he took up his parable and said, Alas, alas, who shall live when Yahweh doeth this? And ships shall come from the coast of Shittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever.
Wow. Remember, the Esau comes out of Eber. Everybody remember the lineage, right? Okay. And which is Esau is Hebrew. Everybody know that? All right. Read.
And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place. And Balak also went his way. That's it. Balak gave up right there.
Guess he gave up?
The man didn't even say he was angry or nothing. He just turned around and said, I'm finished.
Right. Right. Read on.
Come. Numbers chapter 25, verse 1.
Okay.
I believe we stop at verse 9. Come.
Right.
And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
See? We just mentioned about them being perverse, right? He told Moab that they're not, right? That they are righteous people, they're blessed. And now look what's going on now. The daughters started committing, he said what? Israel to be old Shittim. And the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. So now we started to, mingle with them. Read.
You guys, I just gotta say this real quick. Them nations probably scratching their head like, yo, didn't this guy just prophesy to me and say that Yahweh does not see any perverseness in these people? They go around and start committing whoredom with the daughters of Moab?
Right.
Yo, man, you don't want to mess with this power, man. He really cares about his children. He don't care what they do in his eyes. When they compare him to the nations, they are saints. But in his home, they rebellious and wicked. And they get the belt and the hangers and the kitchen spoon.
Oh, kitchen spoon.
Sorry, I was
going back.
That's
Stay away from the kitchen, man. Tell you right now.
the janitor keys and
That's
everything.
it.
The wire.
That's it.
About the wire.
The broom, the dustpan, everything. Yeah, man. You right?
I'll read. Verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And they called the people. This is I hate this part. This about to
Yeah.
come up. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their powers.
Right.
And the people did eat and bow down to their gods.
You see that? All right. We could. So when they said that they went and commit whoredom, this is what they're talking about. They started to bow down with their gods. You know what I mean? Read on. What you want to say?
No, never mind. We're gonna go over that in the.
We're gonna go over that next one.
No. Further later on in Deuteronomy. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna pull it up.
Go ahead.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel.
Who is that? Baal Peor. Who is it? Anybody remember? Akko.
Is that what we're talking about in chapter 22, the last verse? Baal?
Let's look him up. Let's see what it says here. Let's see.
22:41?
Yeah, I saw. I know. This is not Baal Peor, but let me see. Okay, I found Baal Peor. All right, that's exactly what I thought it was.
The country, right?
No. It's two. Read Baal because we spoke about that. Read this right here, and then read Baal Peor, so we know exactly what it is.
Okay, come.
Yeah.
Well, we could probably just go straight to Baal Peor. Let me see. 'Cause this is gonna talk about a lot of different things. is just like it's an idol
Yeah.
for different nations. So let me see.
Right.
'Cause this is what they're talking about here is the Phoenicians, the Canaanites.
It's just a Baal is just a name for like a some sort of
I'll read this.
deity. You know what I mean? Deity.
I'm gonna read it.
But Baal Peor is a specific one. So we're gonna read it out of the Bible dictionary.
So Baal appears in the Old Testament with a variety of meanings, master or owner.
Right.
Usually, however, it refers to farm god of the Phoenicians and Canaanites, responsible for crops, flocks, food, farm, families. Each locality had its own Baal, had its own idol, god. The Baalim were worshipped on high places with lascivious